This is the Red Knights podcast. Today we are joined by Anton, aka Vulture, Kid Nichols, aka Perro, Kino, aka Ed Jones, and Shona, aka Banshee. Today's in-game date is March 21st, 2045. It's been about 2.5 weeks since this group was last together. In the meantime, it sounds like some people have been recovering mentally, for some, physically for others. Did anyone pick up anything particularly fun, shopping-wise, during that time?
I picked up a couple of new guns, an SMG and a heavy SMG.
Okay.
I got a sassy new Uzi and some new ammo.
Very nice, very nice.
Vulture bought himself a new pistol and a new shotgun of better quality, as well as subdermal grips in his gun hand.
Yes, and I believe you said that the shotgun was modeled after the Spaz 12, correct?
Yeah, and the pistol is kind of like a tacked out 1911 style of gun.
Very nice, very nice. We are going to start the session in Perro's shop, actually. I think you said before what your shop looks like, but I can't remember if it was in the character generation stuff or not. So can you give us a description of what your shop looks like, Perro?
Essentially, because of the deal he made with the owner of the apartment complex where he lives, it's basically the boiler room of these large apartment complexes. He asked, "Hey, can I use your can I live in and or use your basement for stuff?" And they were like, "Sure." Or it was conditional. Essentially, the owner of the La Savoia where he lives requires some maintenance because she does have some cyberware that needs upkeep, and he does know how to do that stuff. So after his mentor left, he started doing that sort of work out of the La Savoia. So it's essentially like a converted boiler room. He's done the best he can to make it as sterile and make you forget the fact that you are in a boiler room. It's still very hot and humid, but he's hung up sheets. He's basically hung up a bunch of flat sheets to try and give the air of something more professional. He does keep it clean, and he does a good job of keeping this work area clean. But, it's a not 100% sanitary place. Sometimes vermin get in, especially looking after, especially messy clients. But it's cramped, it's hot and humid, but it's mostly draped. It's covered in drapery whenever you get in. It's got this very flowy thing in order to prevent you from seeing the walls and stuff.
All right. And you mentioned your mentor, which is actually something I wanted to ask. How long has it been since you've heard from or seen your mentor?
It's been 2 years since he saw Javier, which is why he started. So part of the reason why he started doing this kind of work is because he's like, I don't know what else to do. I don't know how else to make a living because what I'm doing right now isn't working. I said Javier, but it is pronounced Javier.
So yeah, you're in the middle of what's your basic typical work week in the Night City. You get clients coming in and out every so often. There was a gang war not too long ago. Some people have bullet wounds or battle damage from that still. Meanwhile, others just... Night City's not a safe place, so it's a revolving door coming in and out of your clinic for the most part. And you're working on this one client who is back for, I guess, a re-examination, I guess? Is that a service that you would do?
Like checkups, like to make sure that their shit is healing properly.
Yeah. So, nothing too intensive. And so it's not hard for you to notice when someone else kind of walks into your clinic out of the corner of your eye. And they look very familiar to you. And you turn around, presumably. Do you turn around?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you see Deloise.
I get a little on edge and just sort of look up. What are you doing here?
This I'm investigating something. I don't know. I'm here for a couple of reasons actually. First, I wanted to give you this. And she gives you a data shard.
I take it, but very slow and tentatively.
I think that you will want to listen to it.
Okay. This is a little out of the blue.
Well, it's been a while since we've talked, but I've been busy in the meantime. Became kind of the voice for the group I'm a part of. Or not a voice, but... No, yeah, a voice. And I keep my ear to the ground these days, and I came across this, and, well, I know this is important to you.
I understand that, and if you thought you needed to deliver this to me, and I am appreciative if you are right, but I am. You have to understand that the things that you do kind of concern me, and as of late, now that I have been involved in some things that I would consider adjacent, I'm a little more concerned for you.
That is the second reason I'm here, but I think perhaps you should listen to that first before I continue on.
All right, I'm going to. Can I put this in my neural interface or my neural link, and will it with my interface plug, and I'd be able to absorb the information, or do you need to find something else?
I'm assuming you have a way to...
Don't you need like a chip socket or something like that?
Yeah, that's what the interface plug is. It's a chip socket.
The short answer, yes.
Yeah, I'll put it in my interface plug and just listen to it.
Another familiar voice comes through as you listen to what is a audio-only recording of Javier. It's very short, and it's just him saying, "Claro que sí. That's why we have to move first, before they find us again." The audio kind of like leads in kind of quietly, fades in and fades out, so it sounds like someone just randomly picked up this audio. It doesn't sound like it was targeted. The metadata on the recording, you can tell that it was recorded about 2 weeks ago.
I'm going to remove the chip and say, where did you get this?
Well, in my job as the voice for my group, I've made lots of friends with information acquisition people, information brokers, that sort of. Either way, ever since then, I've had kind of a standing order with them to let me know if they find anything like this.
But who did you get this for?
The one that this one specifically came from is an information broker named Gloria.
Where do they live?
Well, I don't know where they live. The information brokers are kind of touchy about giving out information about themselves, as it were. But I can tell you where to find them next. She frequently sets up shops at night markets.
So you figure she'll be at like the next one close by?
Well, she specifically hits specific ones, typically ones that specialize in Netrunner gear and personal electronics. So it does make sense why you've probably never crossed paths with her.
That is true.
But yeah, I thought you should listen to that. And so to the second point about your recent activities, and she, at this point, like the guy that you're checking up kind of like looks between the two of you and just like gets up, is like, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. And she pulls out another data shard, and this time she like pulls out a tablet so that she can play, so that she can show you what's on it herself. And there are a couple of scream sheets, one of which you have seen before, that talks about a shootout at the Oak Drive food court, and another that talks about a shootout on the highway involving a gang and a group with a machine gun. I have been investigating this rat bastard who has been sabotaging rooftop gardens. And imagine my surprise when, during my investigation, you came up twice. She kind of like swipes away the scream sheets, and she starts pulling up what look like personal photos. And it's like your face isn't specifically visible in any of them, but
Like you can tell it's me.
if someone knows you, like Deloise probably knows you, yeah, they can probably tell it's you.
So what did you find out vis-a-vis the rooftop gardens? Or why have you been looking into this?
Because at the end of the day, I do care about people. Just, I think some people don't deserve the courtesy of. Regardless, these people are hurting. This rat bastard who's paying to sabotage all these rooftop gardens. He is hurting people, including people that I care about.
So what would you have me do?
Well, I figure since you're already somehow tied to this, I honestly don't know how you managed to come up twice in my investigation, but you have. And, well, I would like to hire you and them to help me with this investigation.
That's fine. If you need our assistance and you have money, we will do the work for you. However, as a caveat, I would like to add that you do not tell them about our previous relationship or any relationship that we might have. I only know you through work, and that is the limit of what you are allowed to tell them.
Yes, I agree to that. Okay.
So if you give me the information, I will contact them.
All right. Have them meet me here. She sends you an address to a cafe called Sandra's.
Okay.
Have them meet me there tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.
It will be done.
Oh, and I probably should say that we're going there to meet an informant who... I don't know what your issue was with this gang, if it was personal or not. It doesn't seem like it was, but this is a informant deal. We're not trying to kill this man.
Yes, I understand.
Okay, I'll get out of your hair then. And she leaves.
I'll sort of stare at the information I was given for a little bit. Like, not quite sure what I'm supposed to do, but then I'm just going to pull out my agent and send everyone like a mass text saying, hey, job just fell into my lap. They're asking us to meet here tomorrow at 10 a.m., if that's cool.
Banshee will text back immediately, like, be there. Any idea what the pay scale's going to be?
I'll groan and say, fuck, I forgot to ask.
No worries.
Ed is going to go on, Anton.
No, you go.
Ed is going to text back and not be worried about the pay because he needs money and say, yeah, I'll be there.
Junkyard. I'm thinking about the man who's not even here. Vulture replies after a minute or two, just what kind of job is it?
I say, it sounds investigational, question mark?
Get a back.
And then I respond, well, in all, I forget the term, but yeah, being like clear cut with you, I'm not 100% certain on the type of job. I just know that someone is offering work, and they're offering work to us.
Well, I'll be there.
See you then.
All right.
So, does anyone want to do anything before this meeting at 10 a.m.?
Well, I would assume the address that he gave us would kind of point us toward, like, this is a cafe, so we probably shouldn't show up, like, strapped in an armor. So I would probably pack my gear bag and get ready to go.
Yeah, speaking of which, what part of the city is the cafe? I kind of can't imagine that it's in the, like, old combat zone or something like that.
It is kind of on the border between Rancho Coronado or maybe Haywood, but basically like on the border of Pacifica and one of those two locations.
Right, that's slightly more upscale, I guess.
Yeah, like it's on the Rancho Coronado side, but it's pretty close. It's like a few blocks away from where the Pacifica playground kind of starts. And typically those border areas are less rough, but still not great.
Yeah, but it's not like a heavy corp security presence or something like that.
No.
All right, cool. I guess I don't need to go and buy a new set of clothes to fit in.
And I'll just go ahead and say right now I'm putting all of my solo points into threat detection for the moment.
Okay. What does that do specifically again?
That raises each point adds +1 to perception checks made. So that'll be a +4 to my perception.
Awesome. All right, cool. So yeah, we can fast forward to everyone meeting up at this cafe. It's kind of a little homey hole in the wall cafe. All the furniture inside looks like it's been salvaged, but it's not in awful shape. There's a smell of like the scent of coffee just permeates the air, and your guess is that it's probably artificial.
Actually, would it be all right if I went ahead and just made like a general perception check? Because I'm feeling a little, Banshee's feeling a little rabbity at this point in time, not really knowing this area of town.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
And that's a 17 for perception.
However, you roll the 1, so you need to roll another d10
Oh no!
and then subtract that. It's amazing that your check is a 17 on a 1, though.
That is, yeah, so it's an 8, so that takes me down to 11, right?
It takes you down to 9.
Math, you know.
So yeah, you're kind of looking around. You notice a few things. You don't notice like any specific threats. You notice that like the buildings here are like they're all in fairly rough shape. This is obviously still a part of town where people are worried about random shooting and that sort of stuff because like the cafe has a steel plate like on the front of the cafe that like is about chest high and lower, basically to protect people who are sitting down in the cafe should random shooting happen outside.
So we're in an interesting part of town where gentrification may not have reached.
Yeah, this isn't the part of town where people are openly walking around with shotguns and assault rifles and like looking for people to kill. But dust-ups still happen.
And like somebody like really hip might tell you, oh, you have to go to this part of town. Like they have the best like XYZ food. It's still authentic and gritty.
Yeah. Funnily enough, you say that the food there is authentic and gritty. You notice that on the menu here, there is actually listed on the menu is real eggs and coffee as supplies last for the day.
And Banshee's going to take a seat at the table and place an order with the waitress as quickly as or waiter as quickly as she can to get some of that good coffee and actual eggs, please.
Yeah, so you ask for the real stuff, and she kind of looks like, oh, I'm sorry, but that stuff usually sells out at like 7.
That's totally fair. Like, what else is on the menu?
Well, we have, and she like shows you the menu of synthetic eggs, kibble, fake coffee. The typical stuff that's in a.
I got a fake hot tea if that or like a synth tea if that's possible. Too much coffee, jittery. No one wants that. Thank you.
Of course.
How early is Banshee at the cafe?
Yeah, what time are we in game? Because I'd say she'd probably arrive there if Perro included meeting time. She'd probably come about an hour early.
Now, the meeting time was 10 a.m.
So she's here at 9.
Well, you get to see the big Samsung truck roll in at the same time as you step inside then.
Hi, Dad!
Please do not call me that.
Just kidding. Such a dad, God.
Very uncomfortable. Vulture has a fake eggs and soy calf. Or is it kibble coffee?
The coffee is not kibble. The coffee is just fake coffee.
Yeah, it's fake coffee made from kibble.
Do they just run the water over the kibble and then you drink the kibble juice? Because that sounds horrifying.
I mean, how are you supposed to know what it, tastes like?
I'm just guessing, but
Another part of the another detail I should mention is that like this part of town, it's basically like where you have the shops down on the ground floor and then like several floors of like tenement housing above them.
Would it be overkill if I tried to do a perception check inside the restaurant as well?
Go ahead. Before you do that, what time do Ed Jones and Perro show up?
Well, Perro is walking, and it's not that far from his house. So it's probably about 9:30 is when he shows up, a little huffy and puffy, but still there.
Ed Jones will probably get there around the same time after packing his bag and finishing up some project he was working around on his pod.
You're late, Eddie. You're never going to get ahead in this game if you don't show up early.
I was a problem with the last gun.
The one that jams?
Oh, Jesus. Roll another d10. You went from rolling a 17, which was you with a 1, to a 26, which was
10.
you with a 10. And you got another 10. Oh my god, so you have a 36.
I'll tell you my trick. I got out my DM dice bag and I put one hand in it.
Yeah. All right, so you got a 36. So yeah, you're looking around now once you're inside, and you notice a few things. One, that quite a few of the other patrons here have like a specific little patch on their clothing in places. Like most of them have it on the collar, some have it on their shoulder.
Is this a patch I recognize as like a regiment marker or anything?
Roll me local knowledge.
Ugh, okay, well, we'll try. Okay, 10. That's not great.
Yeah, no, you don't recognize this patch at all. Let's see, what else would you notice? I feel like bad only giving you that one thing, like on a 36, but I can't think of anything else that like would
and I
stick
didn't roll
out.
human perception either, so that wouldn't really apply to like if anyone looks squirrely or rabbity or anything.
Yeah, are you looking for anything specifically?
Not just for any groups, like just instinctually looking for anybody who is looking nervous, anyone who looks like a regular, because I'm super not sure why we're here. All I know is Perro offered the job to us, so this might be his patch, and I don't really know much about him.
Oh, these people all these people who are wearing patches are definitely regulars.
Any description of what's on the patch?
It looks like a sickle with wings.
Okay. So I think Banshee's probably on her second like Irish breakfast synth tea and just waiting to see what's gonna happen.
So Deloise shows up at 10 a.m. And she sits at the booth that you guys are at, presumably. Are you all seated together?
Is there a
Yeah.
window for like to the outside or something like that?
There is a window, however, it is like I told Banshee, there is like a steel plate that is basically up against the window that starts from about chest height and goes all the way down to the floor. So if you stand up, you could probably see outside, but if you're sitting down, you can't see much outside.
Right. Vulture is going to be standing a lot then because he parked the car right outside and he keeps an eye on the truck.
Oh my god, you are going to see your car that is like, I'm not gonna say it, but you know what I mean. It's so you.
Look, you can never trust, like they might steal the wheels. Those are
This
expensive.
neighborhood is lovely. They had real eggs this morning. Like, like anywhere you can get real food, you're probably not gonna have anyone take your tires, right?
Vulture just like that looks with this look of, you really believe that sort of
You
thing?
think that, but I've seen it happen.
I mean, well, I've never had a car and I don't know how to drive, so I guess you definitely know more than me. I'm just like, they seem nice. Like, don't be rude.
But yeah, Deloise walks in and she joins you at the booth that you're all sitting at, or the table. And she calls the waiter over. Does anybody want real eggs?
Oh my god. I would like kiss you. Yes, please.
And she kind of like nods to the waiter who heard her ask that and is like, and she goes to the kitchen. And about 5 minutes later, there are real eggs on plates for y'all.
Holy shit.
I can't remember the last time I had real eggs.
Can I roll human perception on her?
Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm asking for a lot of rolls, but it's an 11.
Okay. Is there anything that you're specifically like trying to perspect?
Just kind of a general vibe for this gal because I don't know her, and I assume that since she walked over the table and managed to get actual human food put on the table, that she's got some clout. And I'm just kind of getting a vibe for her, like how is she coming off? Is she hiding something, or like is this an act, a facade, or is she actually showing a real personality?
It seems like this is a place where she is comfortable, and it seems like she is also a regular.
Okie dokie.
And she sits down. She looks at Vulture, who is still standing, probably. Are you going to be like that the entire time?
Vulture just has his plate in hand, fork in the other, is like, yep. Staring intently at everybody who walks by outside.
All right, well, then I should probably tell you you're going to see not a familiar face, but you're going to see somebody who you've presumably or maybe have had bad blood with in the past. Try not to shoot them.
Uh-oh.
That's our informant. He should be arriving in about... She kind of looks off to the side as she reads her internal clock. He should be here in about 25 minutes. But I wanted to sit down with you all first and get a feel for you all. I only know what I have managed to deduce from my investigation and the scream sheets, and you all were not my primary focus, so that wasn't much.
Well, you know me to some extent.
Yes.
I am professional. If you won't have to worry too much about random outbreaks of violence from me.
So, how long have you all been working together?
Oh, like maybe a month max. I think we've only done 2 jobs together, and I don't think they went terribly. I mean, crews aren't usually my thing, so I mean, hard to say, but I trust these folks.
Okay.
I'd say that our 2 jobs together have been successes.
I mean, we're good at exfil, and then like Perro's like super reliable on patching people up. Trust me on that one. Ed and Junkyard, well, he's not here right now, but like they're both like on it when it comes to like anything technical, and like obviously like Vulture's taking us everywhere, and like don't bleed in the car. And then there's me.
Nobody died who wasn't supposed to die. That's all I can say. But we're
That's right.
not going to go out guns blazing.
That's good. That's good. So, yes, I don't imagine that Battle told you much about the job. I don't think I told him much about the job. Thinking about it, but
No, I didn't even find out how much it pays. But I mean, that's what we're here for, right?
yes. Well, let's see. There are 4 of you. How about 1,250 eddies each?
What's the job?
Ah, yes, the job. There's this corporate spook. I'm pretty sure he works for Continental Brands. You know them, the ones who make the kibble.
Mm-hmm.
Ew, yeah.
Yeah, he's been sabotaging rooftop gardens. Well, not him, but he's been enabling.
So he's putting forward the money to have other crews shut down rooftop gardens.
Yes, the money, the information. His contributions are subtle, and it's been hard to track. I don't even know what he looks like. I just know. Just all the clues that I've found so far have pointed to this.
Sorry, could you repeat the name of the corp?
Continental Brands.
Because I just did an assassination last week, but that wasn't who I worked for. So they're okay. Well, this is fucked up. So yeah, I'll take it.
Yes. I don't know if he's trying to get a promotion. I don't know if he has a specific goal in mind, but he's been fucking with the food supply for many people, including the people of this community.
Well, that's just no good. Like, no, absolutely fucking not. Like, now when you say corporate spook, like, does that mean like he's just been like really elusive and hard to find, or do we think he has like actual espionage training?
It's hard to tell with these corpo types. Some of them are legitimately better than probably any spy that works for the actual government at this day and age. And others are just, like I said, corporate jackoffs trying to climb the corporate ladder by fucking the people around them.
And there's like no chance this guy's like got a solo background, right? Like any kills, mysterious disappearances, like the people that he's hiring to fuck up these rooftop gardens, do they still show up places if you even like kind of know who they are, or do they disappear?
Well, our informant is someone who had been hired by him at a previous point, and he is no longer with the organization that he was with when that happened.
Maybe it's that Asian guy who hired us for the first job.
You mean the salary man whose name we
Yeah.
never got? Because
Yeah.
then there were the 2 that we didn't get from that rooftop robbery gang, but there was we didn't get the Asian guy and we didn't get one of the women.
Right, might be one of those 2.
What does this guy look like? Oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I totally didn't ask your name. That's so rude. What's your name, ma'am?
Oh, yes, it's DeLuise.
Louis, excellent.
No, DeLuise.
Vulture is not going to acknowledge that.
So
DeLuise, this organization, Booster Gang, something closer to the ground, something a little bit more revolutionary, shall we say?
Are you talking about the one that our informant is coming from?
Yep. Like whoever they used to work for and don't work for anymore?
He used to be part of the Torque Nuts gang.
Ew. Okay. But I mean, at least he's out, so that's a point in his favor. Are we allowed to know his name?
He hasn't given me one. Mostly the deal was he provides information, and I help hide him from his previous gang.
Well, that seems like a major task. They seem to be everywhere. God, with their tacky green and yellow. Ugh, gross.
Well, they mostly seem to, if they seem everywhere, it's because they are a booster go gang. But currently they are based up in New York North.
Hold on. Perro, do you remember where we were from because my sense of direction is totally shot, but when we moved from one warehouse to the other a couple of weeks ago, do you remember where we were for that?
Didn't we start off the very, very north of Night City and then ended up going deeply into the south?
Yeah, because we had to take the highway for that. So I guess the torque nuts were all over the map on that. So I would not we encountered them on the highway.
It was the opposite, actually. Y'all started in the south, and then y'all went to New Westbrook North.
Ah, okay.
Well, potato.
My mistake.
So this is a former torque nut, and definitely no one whose name starts with an R and ends with an icky, right?
Oh, no.
Okay, that's good.
That moron doesn't know anything.
Yeah, we kind of picked that up collectively, I think. Right, guys?
Yeah, he kind of also can't fix guns as well.
Yeah, that was not my favorite thing in the world. I mean, sure, it's always been the dream to sit in the truck bed and just totally just fire just length after length after length of auto bullets, but not like that. Jesus, so much bolt jamming. But thank you, Ed.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've washed our hand of him at this point.
Good. So we just have a former torque nut to deal with as an informant who's here to tell us about who's been fucking up perfectly lovely rooftop gardens with nice fresh food in them that people deserve to be eating.
Yes.
Also, is there just eggs? Is there do I have anything to put on top of them?
What do you want to put on top of them?
I feel like I need a little bit of hot sauce for this. This is
Oh, there's definitely synthetic hot sauce stuff.
Is it like Cyber Cholula, where there's a cybernetic lady on the bottle?
I mean, it's basically just artificially flavored diluted syrup.
It's just the eggs by themselves, low key disappointing.
There's also salt and pepper.
You gotta make like Beyonce, son. You gotta keep hot sauce in your bag.
Probably.
But yes.
Vulture has artificial mayonnaise to go with his eggs.
That is very disturbing.
So yeah, y'all kind of sit there for a little bit and eat your food when Vulture notices a man walk up to the door who looks very nervous and looks very out of place.
How does he look out of place compared to the rest?
Out of place, in that it's very obvious that he's not comfortable here and that he seems concerned about walking in here.
Right. Just out of curiosity, does he throw a second or third glance towards the truck? Because if he was part of the Torknuts were the guys we fought on the freeway, so he should probably recognize the truck, maybe?
He does not seem to recognize it. I mean, he does kind of look at it for a second, but he doesn't seem to look at it in a way that's oh, it's them or whatever. He just kind of looks at it
right.
There's a big ass fucking truck parked here. What the fuck?
It is missing a trailer and a giant gun, so it looks probably just a little different.
He might not have been there.
That's true as well. But okay, Vulture just goes, I think that's our man, as he's about to, he looks, the guy looks left and right and then steps inside.
Yep. And sure enough, he walks inside and Eloise looks up and she says, "Yep, that's him." And she kind of waves him over and says, "These people are with me. They're going to help me with this investigation and they're going to sit in on our conversation." And he kind of looks between all of y'all. He doesn't seem to recognize y'all at all. So.
And she's gonna give him a little fingertip wave, "Hey."
He kind of does the half wave of someone who's feels like he should do something but isn't sure.
Yeah, it was really more of an intimidation gesture, but disguised as something cute.
Okay. And Deloise says, "Okay, well, if everyone is finished with breakfast, if you would, please follow me."
I'm gonna stand up.
With that, I think Vulture activates the audio recording on his agent.
And Banshee's gonna grab her tea.
Okay. The tea is okay. I was going to say coffee is definitely their stronger suit here.
Ed's going to scarf down this last bit of real eggs before he goes and follows them.
Okay. So she kind of leads you back behind like the dining area and up a little stairwell, and she leads you to what looks like the storage room for the cafe downstairs. But also looks like a meeting area of sorts, because there's a makeshift table and there are pillows on the floor where people presumably sit. The room smells more of cigar smoke than anything else. And yeah, she invites everyone to sit down.
I'll take my seat.
Vulture does take a seat because I assume there aren't any windows.
And
Yeah, on this section there are not.
And she'll just try to sit down anywhere where she can kind of like have her back to a corner and then like palm whatever handgun she's got in her jacket pocket.
Okay.
Ed's going to sit as well.
Everyone sits down, and she looks at the informant and she says, "All right, you know the deal. Tell us what you know, and if we nail this bastard, I'll help you disappear from your previous gang." And he kind of nods, and he's like, so I don't know if the rest of you know what she knows, but I used to be with this gang called the Torque Nuts. I mostly just watched the warehouse when we like looted stuff. Also, it's the warehouse where we would keep like our weapons and stuff. Anyways, that's where we meet people. And let's see. So, last Monday, this guy came to our warehouse. He was unannounced. He showed up in a business suit, and if it wasn't for the fact that he promised us a score, we probably would have shot him.
Could you describe this gentleman? Could you like describe this guy, please? Like what he looked like besides the suit, if you remember anything?
He's a white guy, sandy blonde hair, deep blue eyes, kind of skinny.
Any distinguishing features, like a scar or any kind of cyber work?
Or a tattoo.
I think he had a neural implant on his hand, but that's the only cyber rare I could see. As far as anything distinguishing, not really.
And type will talk. Would this does not resemble the gentleman who hired us for the first job we took, does it?
It does not.
Okay, so this is someone new. All right.
Anyways, he approached our boss with an offer. He had all these recordings, all these documents about a shipment of, look, this is going to sound pretty bad, but like, you aren't going to hurt me, right?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
Just spit it out. Like, we're here to listen.
All right. Well, you know those cyber chairs, the ones that like Rockland Augmentix came out with?
For like folks who like need assistance getting around because they have like spinal issues that can't be fixed from bad installs, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So he had information about a shipment of 5 of their higher end models, the ones that about like 5,000 eddies worth of gear total. And basically he just told us where we could intercept the shipment. And we did that. He didn't pay us anything. We just kind of looked into it and it all checked out. But then like anyways, yeah, you're going to need you need. So while he was there, we as Torque Nuts use trackers to like track their targets if they get away from them, like when they're out on the highway. So he stashed one of those in his car he showed up on. And I have the address that car was stashed at. And that's what I'm willing to offer in exchange for you helping me disappear.
Wait, so this is like about like cyber chairs? And
No. This is just a connection between the two things. hear about the rooftop garden sabotage, which this person is supposedly connected to. It's just that's what he came with these people to do.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's he. The shipment was bound for a rooftop garden over in out of character. I forgot where it is exactly, so I'm not going to specify. But yeah, a lot of the people who live and work there need these kinds of chairs. So
Oh my god, so this is a 2-for-1. So they're like looking like they're rating people's food and they've taken like assistance devices. Oh boy, this is gonna be fun.
well, it was more about I don't know, but I just know where it. You brought up the fact that the first thing is about a rooftop garden. It seems relevant, and if it seems relevant, it seems more likely that I'll get my what I want. So yeah, that's where those chairs were bound for.
So we have the location of the person who gave you the tip about these chairs coming in that were supposed to go to a rooftop garden general like neighborhood association or whatever group you would call. Like I've never really been involved in that sort of thing, so I'm not super sure about how that runs. So, but what really like you're bringing us is the location that you know the location of the guy who gave you this job.
I know where his car ended up. I can't
Okay.
guarantee that he's there, but it's another clue.
Is there surveillance imagery of this gentleman, or are the torque nuts not really the camera's installing type?
Well, so we did have camera footage, and then some other people raided our warehouse. And long story short, I don't have access to that anymore.
Well, it can't be helped. I get. Wait, what happened to the warehouse where you can't even get? You know what? Never mind. Okay, so your warehouse is shithoused, and you don't have any more like surveillance imagery. We have a general idea of where the car this guy might have driven would be, but if he seems like shady corporate, then he could be anywhere. And then that's just the car location. Okay, this is getting weirder.
Yeah.
Guys, how do you all feel about this?
And you said you took the job, and he didn't ask for any money. What did he tell you that convinced you that this wouldn't be a setup for something? You know, there's got to be more to the story here, I think.
I mean, he gave us like the shipping information. He gave us like voice recordings of, and like internal communications of this garden, like saying when and where they were going to be shipped. And we checked that with our own information, and it seemed true. And if it was a setup, like we would have, I don't know, like we're willing to take the risk, I guess. The information was free. It was $5,000. It was 5,000 EBs worth of cargo.
Did he tell you why he was giving you the job? Just out of the kindness of his heart?
We didn't look a gift horse in the mouth, man.
Okay. And like you're giving us this job because you want out, and Miss DeLuise can get you out, right?
Well, I'm already on the outs. I'm not exactly on good terms with them anymore after they raided the warehouse, and I was the only one left alive.
Repeat
That sounds
that and
suspicious.
elaborate if you wouldn't mind.
I was smart, unlike everyone else who got geeks.
Who was the resistance that you met with?
I don't know, let me think. The main two that I saw were some Asian chick and then like some cowboy looking guy who got messed up with a shotgun. And then someone came up from behind me and pointed to the assault rifle, and I surrendered. I'm not going to die. Everyone else did or got captured, but I don't care that much.
Yeah,
That's
it's past relevancy at this point. They just got knocked over by another gang.
I don't know. Were like they wearing colors or something? Should we be aware, like tiger claws or whatever the like piranhas?
I don't
What's
know.
up?
Does it matter? Aren't you after this other
if there's
guy?
another gang involved, it kind of does. It would be helpful to know.
I don't know. They seem like some independent group, probably edge runners or something, like you guys.
Okay, that's reasonable. Like as long as they weren't representing gang colors, then that's one more thing we know.
It's a big city. Lots of people gunning for the same kind of thing.
Getting back on track, what is the location of this gentleman's vehicle?
Yeah. Here. and he sends you what looks like it looks like a screenshot of a screen that showed a transponder signal at an address that shows up in the in South Night City, close to the University District.
South Saint City, like that's kind of a. It's not the worst area.
It's
Isn't
pretty.
that supposed to be kind of fancy pants?
No, South Night City is a rough part of town, according to the book. It is a combat zone.
But like the university town area is like super nice, right?
Yeah, so it's the location is like kind of like this place is a few blocks away from that corporate Pacifica place. It's kind of like that. It's a few blocks into Night City, South Night City from the University District. I don't know what it's like there. I try and stay out of the combat areas.
All right. Well, we know that much. So like ultimately what's the objective?
I don't know. I gave the information.
I'm looking
Oh.
thank you, sir. But Miss DeLuise, what is your what do you want us to do? Like, or does Perro already know, or does Anton already know, Vulture already know? Like, am I the only one out of this one?
Well, I am hiring y'all to help me with this investigation, and it sounds like the investigation leads to this address in South Night City.
Also, do you like want him dead? Do you want us to bring him in?
Dead would be nice. Interrogated first would be better. I want to know
Okay.
if there are other people that he's working with.
Right, so you effectively just want whatever information we can acquire, and at the end of the day, you also want us to kidnap him for interrogation. Is that about right?
If possible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's definitely an option that we can pull out. So when we're asking this gentleman questions regarding his work, you're trying to find out, like, is he working with other booster gangs? Like, who does he have involved? Like, who ultimately masterminded this whole rooftop garden destruction plan and like collaboration with the piranhas to move these pieces of like cyber equipment, that sort of thing?
Yeah, pretty much. I just want to know what he's doing and why, and then I want it to stop. And I don't know if it's going to stop with him or if it's going to go higher up the corporate ladder, but if we stop him, hopefully at least the information that he has dies with him. And
Sounds
anyone else
reasonable.
who tries to do this again has to start from scratch.
Yes, we can do this kind of work, especially when the cause is good for a change.
Yeah, this is a whole lot nicer than moving a rich kid's guns.
At that, because the guy is still there, he's like, rich kids guns. Wait.
Worry about it.
Wait. You guys are the ones who moved Ricky's shit?
Do you have a problem with that?
No.
You're just
They just told me it was like a group of like 20 guys.
It's that good.
so cute. Oh my god. Toxic masculinity is hilarious.
Did he at least compliment the driver on his driving?
I mean, they said they couldn't get close, so I guess that's a compliment. I don't know.
I'll take it.
I think you did an amazing job, so I didn't get sick once.
They were mostly upset that y'all found the tracker. Said that y'all were like a crack team of like something. I don't know.
Doesn't that just make you feel better about us getting you out of this?
I guess. I don't know. I mostly just manage the warehouses.
I mean, we have a general idea of what Miss DeLuise would like us to do, and we have a general idea of where to start looking. Should we break and start developing a plan?
Yes,
I think, yeah.
that seems like a good
Yeah.
idea.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Miss DeLuise. And sir, what was your name? Mr. Torknut, former Torknut.
You can just call me Davis.
Well, thank you, Davis. You have been most helpful to a certain extent. Thank you.
Additionally, Davis, I just want to let you know that I am pretty salty about you stealing wheelchairs from people that might need it. And although I am just going to leave here right now, as I promised, if I ever see you on the street, I'm probably going to fucking kill you.
So I think that means maybe get like really good body sculpting, but I don't know.
Or just leave.
Make yourself
Fake-
scarce.
Fake mustaches are all the rage, last I heard.
Yeah, so Deloise hands him a little packet of some stuff. It doesn't look like it's large enough to be like a bundle of cash or anything like that. And she says, as promised. And he like grabs it and kind of looks around, avoids making eye contact with Betterel, kind of avoids making eye contact with everyone, but pointedly Betterel, and then like heads off downstairs.
All right, let's get going.
All right.
But-
Are we safe to like make a plan here? Does everyone feel like Miss Louise's room generally considered like an okay place? Because it smells like cigar smoke, and that either means poker games or meetings.
Oh wait, sorry, wrong voice. Well, she looks at her watch, or she looks at the time again. It would probably be best if we don't linger here too long.
Well, I mean, rolling meeting room, Vulture.
Sure.
We can talk about her.
Well, if we all get in the truck, that's like a rolling meeting room, and Vulture can keep an eye on his baby.
Yeah, that's good enough.
All right. Well, then I will walk you all out. And yeah, she kind of like shuffles out, locks the door behind her, and y'all head out to the truck, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Make me perception checks as y'all walk outside.
All right, let me see my shit.
Damn. That's concerning.
Yes, it should be. The GM's asking for a perception check.
Good thing I still have points to allocate.
That is a 17.
A regular perception or human perception?
Regular.
Okay.
I got a solid 20.
God
Well,
damn.
you got 17.
Little perception munchkins.
What? We just want to notice stuff.
No, yeah. I was usually trying to make perception at least somewhat decent on most of my characters. Because it's like the most useful skill.
Got an 18?
And then you're all like, should I put any points into accounting? And
I mean, it would be kind of dope to make a character that's just like a normal like accountant, but like not really. Like there's like the gun room in the back.
So not like Steelfigus.
The opposite of that.
Oh, Cyril. So yeah, y'all walk outside. Deloise is walks outside with y'all. And y'all notice that as Deloise walks outside, some car windows go down across the street and gun barrels are pointed out of them.
With a 20, am I able to go ahead and like shove her back and whip out my pocket pistol?
Sure.
All right, I'm going to tell her like, get down and whip out my pocket pistol.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, you kind of like push her back into the door. And I'm going to say narratively that gunfire sprays as these people open fire with automatic weapons. And then we're going to drop into initiative.
Heck yeah.
I got an 11.
13?
I'm going to reach into my pocket and get the incendiary grenade if that's all right, too.
I mean, that's an action, so
11. And with the 20 perception, do I notice any colors on the guys in these cars?
Yes. And you recognize the gang colors of the Red Chrome Legion, who are a very well-known gang, basically made up of a bunch of neo-Nazis and hate groups.
Oh, goody. This is going
It's
to
gonna be fun. Jinx.
Exactly. As a free action, am I allowed to yell Red Chrome Legion?
Sure.
So Banshee will do that, like, Red Chrome Legion!
And then somehow the solo is the last act.
Yeah.
She's taking her time to set up her shot.
It was because she spent the time to shove Deloise back and then try and identify these people.
Exactly. Info gathering. Thank you.
All right, so up first is Vulture.
oh, hell yeah. Well, he is going to pull his 911 looking heavy pistol. Then I am curious. Let me see how much dice I have to play with. It's -8 to for cold shots, right?
Yes.
How far away are these people?
They're about 20 feet away from you then. So what is that? That's like 6 yards? 6.5 yards?
Right, so
6.5 meters.
please. Okay, is it 6 or 7?
If you want to move up a little bit, you can close the distance and make it 7 or 6.
Yeah, well, Vulture is obviously going to go up behind the truck, so let's just say that that covers the distance. Then he is going to make a cold shot on the driver of the vehicle, and he's going to fire twice, of course.
So yeah, you lift up your pistol and you take a couple of shots. It's a new gun, so the first shot kind of goes a little wild as you get used to using this in the combat situation. But you get used to it pretty quickly, and you zero in and you shoot this man in his head on the second shot.
3d6. Let's see. That wasn't great, but I'll take it.
Yeah, so you hit him in the head, but it strikes this armored helmet that he is wearing. And you can see it like crack and kind of chip away at the helmet as your round ricochets off his helmet and into the front windshield.
God damn it.
Yeah, unfortunately, you decided to shoot at the most heavily armored of the three.
Yeah, but he's also the driver. If I had killed him, then they wouldn't be going anywhere.
Give it time, they might not. Car's got tires, right?
Yeah, but if you kill the driver, then that means that they all have to try and shoot us because they're not getting away.
Oh, no. Ain't you ever seen somebody like put their leg over like the center console and press the gas?
Weekends at Bernie, the car. Up next is Perro.
All right, it's like we're right next to Vulture's truck, basically, right?
Yeah, it sounds like he parked it out in front.
All right, so I'm just gonna shimmy up over there to give me a little bit of cover, intervening cover between them and me, as my cyber arm is a slot opens up along the forearm, and my pistol will pop out. After I take it, I will pop over and then just fire off 2 shots. Once again, I'm probably gonna do the same thing Vulture did and shoot at the lead guy.
All right, yeah, go ahead.
17 to hit.
That'll hit. And this is a cold shot to the head, or is this just a normal shot?
Just a normal shot.
All right, go ahead and roll damage. And is this a very heavy pistol or?
Very heavy pistol. Hey, me and Vulture got the exact same damage roll.
We both ablate the armor. Yay.
So yeah, his armor, you ablate the armor, but you ablate the different armor.
Yeah, a different part of his armor. Look, it's fine. We're softening him up for Banshee, who's going to come in there with the finishing blow.
Or maybe a little knife action.
And that's the second shot.
That's a hit.
All right. Wow, significantly worse. But yeah, it doesn't matter. Take it off armor. Just peeling him like an onion.
Yep. So you put 2 rounds in his chest, and you see like dust kind of like come off his chest as you start like cracking the plates in his armor.
That's it for my turn.
Up next is Ed Jones.
Okay. Which one do I have the cleanest shot to?
Do you have a clean shot to all 3 of them if you want?
Okay. I'm not going to shoot for the guy in the driver's seat. I'm going to shoot for, I guess, the next one closest to him.
Okay. Yeah, so there's a guy in the seat behind him.
Okay. I think I'm going to put one of my luck points into this one, and I'm using a heavy pistol.
All right.
I think I get to roll again because I rolled a 10, right?
Correct. Let's see if you get the fabled super crit that I made at the house ruling for.
And that's going to be a 22 then, without the modifier?
Yeah, that's a hit. I was just seeing if you would get the super crit on hitting 2 10s in a row. What kind of pistol is this? Do you get a second shot?
No, I do not believe so. This is just a heavy pistol.
The heavy or very heavy?
Just a regular heavy. Tiny hands.
Heavy pistols have rough 2, rate of fire 2.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, it's the very heavy that's like more of a cannon than a...
you are right. I was reading that wrong.
Shoot them again. Kill them. Strike them down.
Okay. I will fire a second time.
Oof. Okay, your second shot is definitely going to miss.
Yeah.
As you roll a 1.
Oh, I got to roll another one, don't I?
Well, yeah, you know what? Go ahead. Let's see. So your second attack comes to a 1 total for your attack. So yeah, your first shot you managed to just like dead eye, like shoot this man right in the chest, and then your second shot, I don't know, just maybe it was a bad round, maybe you accidentally like double tap the trigger when you didn't mean to, but you just completely miss. And go ahead and roll damage on that first hit.
Okay. 8.
All right. Yeah, you see a little bit of blood come out. Let's see. And next up are the gangers. So yeah, they level their weapons at you guys. Two of them are holding SMGs, the two in the back, and the one in the front is holding an assault rifle. And let's see.
So basically, we got two dudes in the back trying to like shoot out the same window, like they're at a drive-through and trying to shout over each other for orders.
Pretty much.
That should go well for them.
Yeah, you know. So let's see. The man in the front with the assault rifle is definitely going to shoot at Vulture, who hit him in the head. And then the gangers in the back are probably going to shoot at Ed Jones both. Wow, none of these people hit.
What?
Listen, as we all know, hate group members tend to be terrible shots.
Yeah, the auto fire DVs for like the 0 to 6 meter range is 20 for SMGs and 22 for assault rifles.
Okay, auto fire. I was like looking at the the TVs and I was like, damn, that one guy with 19? Shit.
These guys are definitely subscribing to the model of spray and pray.
We're dealing with the gravy seals here then.
Yeah, and then
Don't talk about gravy. I really want some gravy right now.
and yeah, after the second round of fire, this is why they missed that first wave of fire too. Presumably, they're not very good at this. And the driver in front puts the pedal to the metal, and the tires screech as this unassuming sedan that they were in just takes off.
Yeah, you better run.
So I didn't really get a shot at him, but can I teleoptic and try to get any identifying vehicle details with a perception?
Sure.
And can I try to shoot at him from this distance or not?
Sure. We'll say that they made it about... Well, what weapon are you using?
Ideally, I'd like to be using my sniper rifle.
Well, the question is, did you bring your sniper rifle into the cafe?
Eternally. I have everything in my bag. You never know what you're going to need.
Well, it's going to take an action to pull it out, and by the time that it comes back around to you, they're going to be too... You know what? I'll go ahead and give you one shot at the...
The combat speed for vehicles is 20, I believe. 20 feet meters. 20 meter yards.
20 meter yards. Okay, so then they will be 40 yards away from you.
All right. So am I still within sniper rifle range?
Correct, but it is a 20 to hit.
You got a 19. Ugh, so close.
Yeah, so you kind of lift up, you shoulder your rifle, and you aim down the sights and you try and take a shot.
They're swerving. It's a lot. It's a vehicle's much harder to hit than a person. They move a lot faster.
Yep. And then they eventually turn a corner, and they are gone from your field of view.
With that moment of targeting, would it be fair to try to squeeze in a perception with the combat points or not?
Sure, go ahead. I'll say that your first round, while you were pulling the sniper out, you also were doing the perception check.
And that's a 20.
And you're looking for identifying vehicle markings?
Yeah, I don't know if license plates are a thing, but like stickers, scratches, dents, model of the car, things like color, obviously, like anything that's gonna like make this car a little easier to find if we see it again, truck nuts, that sort of thing.
Well, there are no truck nuts. It looks like they picked this vehicle to be as unassuming as possible.
Well, I super don't know enough about cars to be able to pick that thing out of a lineup, but at least okay, well.
I mean, you know that it's missing a front windshield now.
Well, like, that's like half the cars in Night City, so.
Yeah, that's fair.
Car, we can tell you that.
A bunch of like, what a bunch of weaklings. Like, the minute things start to get hot, they just take off. Like, losers. Stay and finish the job or die like men or women. Jesus. So frustrating.
Die like people, maybe?
Die like
Yeah,
people.
that's like the better way to phrase it. Whatevs. But seriously.
I was going to say, you do have to commend their restraint. Because honestly, if I had missed 2 complete rounds of fire, like literally every single shot, I would have left too. Because
Well, like, they're Red Chrome Legion, so like there's nothing to commend them on. Gross.
I put my hand on Perro's shoulder and say, remember, you're our med tech. Your job is to keep us alive. Please get down so we don't have to find a doctor for our doctor.
I took cover.
Also, oh my god, DeLuise, are you okay?
Yeah, thank you for pushing me out of the way. Although,
Like, I didn't know if you were armed. I didn't want to assume.
yes, I'm fine. Thank you Although, judging from, and she kind of looks at the recent bullet markings that they made, I perhaps was not necessary, but I appreciate the gesture nonetheless.
Wait, so like Red Chrome Legion is like one of the few like booster gangs that I actually know about. Like, why would they be here? Unless anyone else here who's not Miss DeLuise has something they want to tell me.
Well, I certainly don't like the Red Chrome Legion, but I haven't had any sort of personal mix-ups with them.
Same.
Same.
I think this might be more closely related to what we were doing here right now.
Well, that makes sense. At least we all know nobody here is offended. I mean, like, obviously, any of us, if we talked to them, would offend them, but no one's done it yet. So, oh God, that's one more complication. And I do not like that they got away and that they know what we look like out of armor.
I mean, they can just have been hired to do the hit.
Well, like, if the Torknuts were involved and contacted by this corporate what, then, like, there's a chance that some other affiliated groups may have been contacted. However, maybe we like talk about this inside of a close location, perhaps while on the move, and I don't know, running a signal jammer if we have one.
Yes, I suppose. I will tell you that it is probably me that they were after. The subject of my last investigation was closely tied to the Red Chrome Legion. This is probably retaliation for that.
Oh my God, I thought my line of work was dangerous. Jeez.
So you should do better to
Well, like,
watch
if
your
you
back.
ever need bodyguard work, like, here's my card.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I didn't realize that they knew. Never mind. This is internal stuff, I guess. But I need to go back inside and make some phone calls.
Yeah, that's probably for the best. Oh my God, Vulture, your car. Is it okay?
Vulture is probably completely ignoring DeLuise and looking at his car instead.
What's your luck stat?
2.
Roll me a 1d10 plus 2.
I was about to say, don't worry, same.
That's not good. Oh hell yeah!
Yes, so somehow, in addition to completely missing you all, their intended target, or just anything in general, they also managed to miss your truck.
Hell yeah!
Which
You
is
gotta-
like the biggest target, right?
Right.
You've almost got to marvel the level of talent it takes to miss literally the broadside of a car.
Like, seriously, like
Yes.
oh my God, like, I would like jump off a bridge if I missed that badly.
Like Vulture walks like from one side to the next, and then he like scratches his head and walks back and forth a couple of times. I was like, I think it's perfectly fine. And then he steps back a little bit, like in the middle of the road, and he looks towards the truck, and he just sees the bullet holes like make a nice contour around the truck, impacting the building behind it.
They did not have very good aim.
Goddamn
Crazy
idiot.
ones.
I almost feel bad for them if they weren't also Nazis.
Never feel bad for Nazis. They're disgusting.
Nazi.
They did not see the car.
Oh,
Okay, okay. But should we like pile in and like start making a plan?
yeah, we should
Well-
probably go find this guy and kill him.
Yeah.
Well, at first we have to get some information out of him, and I think I have something in my bag for that. It's gonna be fun. Listen,
Oh,
all
dear.
I'm saying is we have a med tech and we have me. And so it's like a good cop, bad cop thing. Heal and hex.
Bad cop, worse cop.
Yeah, kind of like that. I hope you got antitoxin. And you know what? He doesn't have to know he's gonna completely die. Like, at this point, have we been in Vulture's car long enough to have like assigned seats, or do we're like, is it shotgun?
Probably shotgun. Also, Jesse, you cut out after like 4 words or something like that.
So at this point, are y'all going to go and head to this address?
I think we wanted to do some planning, at least.
Okay.
Get in the car, make up, and start coming up with some plans and see what we're gonna do about finding this guy who sounds like every other corporate whatnot we've ever heard of.
Pretty much. So when we get in the car and we start driving, Vulture is going to head to the beach at Pacifica Playground. Pretty much because it's open and kind of exposed, and it's difficult for somebody to sneak up on you.
Yeah, and as you head into Pacifica Playground, the buildings at some point start looking like they have been renovated, and this area just has less wear and tear in general. It looks a lot less like a war happened here.
My main concern with all of this is that we did the rooftop job, got those guys, and someone knew we were out there almost immediately, and so I want to make sure we're not walking into another setup again like last time.
And also, like, I'm kind of concerned about the fact that, like, this, like, gentleman that we spoke to from the Torque Nuts, like, he just kind of glossed over that he was, like, the last one left alive from some encounter with another, either, like, edge runner, like, gang or, like, something like that. So that's a bit concerning.
You're worried about competition?
We don't know if we're the only ones that anyone hired for this. Like, I do not necessarily know these folks. I don't know the insignia I saw on everybody in there. Like the little, like, sickle with, like, the wings is not an org ID that I'm aware of.
Did I know what that was?
I don't know if you would have noticed it, but when she mentions it, yes, you do know what that is. They go by the RLU, but their full name is the Radical Liberation Underground.
I'm like,
huge parts of me just want to believe that anyone who wants to help up, like, food supply and, like, resources for folks who may need cyber chairs and stuff like that are, like, good people, but, like, nothing's a given.
It's a balance of who's worse than the other one, though. If we can't find a completely good person, maybe not hinder someone who's trying to do good no matter what the motivation is, if we can avoid it.
I mean, fair, like, but so, like, Perro, you're the one who got this job, so I assume you, like, know these folks or someone in this organization or, like, affiliated with these, like, rooftop garden folks who want to keep things secure from, like, I don't know, like, any line of work. But what's like the rundown? What's the tea? Like, what are we really looking for here?
well, the organization that was more or less represented in the place that we visited, they have their hearts in the right place, but they're often this kind of work, the brazen killing of people who have done wrong. That is their bread and butter. The idea that you don't fix the system by changing it, you fix the system by getting rid of the people that are in charge. They do good work, but sometimes they go a little too far for my taste.
I mean, it's a corporate, like, it's a corporate jag-off, so, like, one less asshole in a C-suite's, like, fine by me. So how does everyone else feel about this?
I don't mind killing this man if he is impairing people's food or impairing people's ability to get support and food that they need in order to survive.
And for kibble sales, of all things, gross.
So yeah, you all have an address in South Night City.
And we've been driven to the Pacifica Playground by our wheelman, Vulture.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for the ride, Dad.
Stop that.
It's caught on!
You're going to have to walk to the next location if you keep this up.
Sorry, Vulture. We won't do it again, promise. So, like, why did you bring us here to the beach?
Well, we were going to plan, so it's better to do it now and do it here instead of, like, in this. Is better here than in the, like, combat zones. So, like, how many of you guys have ever done a black bag or, like, an infiltration and then an exfil with your target to a secondary location sort of a thing? Are we thinking that that's what we'd like to do if we really... Because I do not want to torture this guy in his apartment. That is an amateur move.
I have very minor B&E experience.
All right, so if we can B and E, I can help get him out, and we have enough muscle here to definitely get him into the car, and I've got sleep darts so I can put him down and keep him real quiet. Or we can just, like, walk him out like Frog March him, you know?
That's going to really depend on what we see he has around him. I very much doubt that he's someone like this is chilling in his house by himself.
I don't know. Spooks usually work, in my experience, work fairly alone with the exception of their handler. But if he's not really a spook, then we're going to find out. And if we have to get messy with the bodyguards, then that's what silencers are for. Wait, table talk question. Silencers?
No.
If you want a silencer, you're going to have Ed Jones make one.
Oh, all right.
Do we have the parts for that?
I mean, you probably have the eddies to buy the parts. I don't know if you have the time for that.
Yeah,
enough.
we'll just have to make some noise.
Well, I think that first and foremost, we only have the location of a car, and the car, if I remember correctly, was in the combat zones, which is not the best place, A, for a car, and B, for anybody to be.
So like we know that this guy like allegedly works for Continental Brands, but like I don't think that any of us really have a way of getting into their database to look for like HR files or anything.
No.
I don't think any of us are adept at that kind of information gathering.
Alternatively, I mean it's a super, super low chance, but if we can like set up like a searchy. Okay, listen, I'm gonna be like real with y'all. Like when I got here, I didn't know how to set up an agent, and a 65-year-old man had to help me do it. So when I'm saying like this intel gathering stuff, I'm just making my best guess. So like, let's just try to work with it, okay?
I understand, but we're, as far as I know, we're very much on the same page as you when it comes to gathering resources from the web.
Well, like, could we look through like scream sheets or anything for like any promo pictures that feature like Continental Brands, and then like, oh God, how many white blonde guys with blue eyes who are kind of slim are there? God, too many.
Can we find? Yeah, that is a good point. From just like surfing the internet, could we find, knowing that the company that he works for, and having a vague description, is it possible to pull up a picture of him, or like someone that might be him?
Like a social media profile even, like, but although like if he's a spook, it's probably under a totally different name, but if we have a photo, that's a little easier.
We could run it through the likely corporations he could work with. That might narrow it down a little bit.
Well, we know for sure at least like corporate brand, like Continental Brands is on his radar, or he said he was a representative.
If you want, so the internet in this world is not really a thing. It's a bunch of like data pools. And so like the city has its own data pool, and different like that are kind of local to each area is the way that it sounds like to me. If I'm wrong, then whatever. But like Continental Brands would probably have their own data pool that's used for like internal stuff. And so if you wanted to like browse their corporate, like anything that wasn't like on just public screen sheets, you would have to actually go to Continental Brands, which Continental Brands is a major player in this world. They have a large building in the I think it's Little Europe.
Like leveraging our contacts, like the few people that I know here that I'm friendly with would be like, I mean, you guys know I know Neko, but I also know Eris Gunriki, who's like she's like the designer of the season. I don't know if she's worked with anyone at Continental Brands though. Like if she could give us an in. Does anybody else know anyone who might know anyone corporate?
I'm very poor.
I feel like Neko would be our best shot of knowing anything.
I mean, if I were gonna find someone corpo, unless I knew for sure somebody from Continental Brands was like a huge fan of like the ramen and sushi and like do like knocking out a couple rounds of karaoke, I'd go to Eris because she dresses them, or at least I'd call her.
Well, there's no reason not to hit up your contacts.
I mean, I'll give it a shot. On a DM or GM ruling thing, would I be able to try to like hit up one of my contacts and see if she's ever worked with anyone at Continental?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna put Eris on speakerphone and like, hey girl. So remember I did like a couple jobs like for you a couple of weeks ago. I'm kind of wondering if you've ever worked with anyone at Continental Brands, and if you could maybe get me an appointment inside of their building, preferably near a computer. Me and like one other person, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, what like,
Let's
do
just
you
say,
have a specific cover idea? I'm guessing this is like an undercover thing, right? Yeah.
we're trying to be like super discreet. Like, I'm not really sure how you want to sell it unless you want to send me in as like a brand ambassador or something like that. Like I've still got the outfit you loaned me for that bodyguard job, so I can slap that on and go in looking cute.
Hang on. Let me look through my. You're calling in one of your favors for this, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. You know I'll do anything for you.
All
Like,
right.
you were
All
my
right.
first client.
Let me look. Okay. I have a meeting with someone there. It's not soon, but if you're willing to call in a favor, I can bump them up the schedule, and I
That
can
would be-
bring
Oh my
you in
God.
as my solo, as my
Yeah,
bodyguard.
that would be amazing. Oh my God. And if I'm your bodyguard, then I'm wearing like an ear wire just in case I need to communicate with any exterior team so I can take instructions through that. Perfection. Oh my God, I owe you like 2 favors.
All right. I don't know if I can guarantee that I can get you to a computer terminal, but do you need Wait, you're not a net runner. Do you have a net runner, or are you? What are you
No, we're
looking
just
for?
going to be trying to dig through. We're trying to find a personnel file. And trust me, if you knew that, like, I'm not going to tell you this. I can't tell you the circumstances yet, but let's just say I know you would be sympathetic to the cause.
So let me think. So with access to their, do you just need access to their data pool then?
Yes, anything I can like just put if someone can tell me how to put a plug into it and I don't know, put it on a card, and then if we can take that, we're trying to do this delicately. We just need one person, minimal collateral damage, and absolutely nothing bouncing back to you. If anything goes sour, I swear to God, I will go to prison for you.
Okay. Yeah. I can meet you tomorrow, and we can do this.
All right, that sounds amazing. Okay, I'll tell the team. Thank you, Eris. I owe you like 2 things and/or going to prison for you. Thank you.
I don't want you to go to prison.
I'll hang up and then okay, guys. So I pulled a huge favor with Eris. She has she's gonna bump a contact meeting with one of her clients at Continental Brands up till tomorrow and take me in as her solo. And so here's what, if we think we can make this work, if we have enough tech knowledge between all of us, I'm going to go in wearing my usual ear wire, and we're going to use that so you guys can tell me what to do. And Eris is going to get me somewhere near a computer where I can get into their data pool and download some shit. So if anyone can walk me through it, we're going to get their data files, and we're going to find this asshole.
I'm guessing I'd be your best bet to walk you through it, so we'll try that.
So, how do you guys feel about this as our first step toward finding this jackass without necessarily having to hunt around the combat zone for what's definitely not his apartment?
That sounds like a plan.
But should we still go check out the location of the car?
I mean, it's silly not to.
All right. So we've got a plan for tomorrow, and I guess our plan for today is to go check out the car location, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. And like Eris is super reliable, and she's the first person I ever did a job for here. So we've got a relationship, so it's gonna be all right.
All right, what's the location like?
So y'all head to this location of the vehicle?
I mean, yeah. Unless
Yeah, like I said, it's in South Night City. You head into this South Night City combat zone. It's a pretty rough area. You kind of have to enter in from the south if you're coming up from this part of town, and that's where things are the roughest. And what is your plan for not being fucked with?
I would say Banshee at this point's put on her armor jack, and she's got the biggest, meanest looking gun she's got out. Her big shotty.
also, Vulture is not going to take the most direct route. So he's going to take the long way around just so that they don't have to drive as much in the combat zones, because he knows that's a bad place to be.
If Vulture's okay with it, I'm going to periodically shoot out the window. I mean, open the window and shoot out of it in hopes that the sound of gunfire will convince people to stay away.
I don't know. Isn't that this neighborhood's mating call?
Are you asking me, or are you saying this in character?
Oh, sorry. That was just a table talk moment. But seriously, should we be shooting out the windows here? Isn't that just going to draw more people to us, for fun? This seems like a neighborhood where people shoot for fun.
Yeah, I think they shoot for the sake of it.
Fair enough. Then I will hold my gun out the window and not shoot, but be ready in case anyone decides that they might be starting a fair fight or thinking about starting a fair fight in the near future.
And yeah, there are several times as you are driving through this neighborhood, there are gangs who kind of look at the truck like a juicy target, and presumably Ed Jones and Shona will be, and Ed Jones and Banshee will be kind of sticking their head out and looking ready to go. And yeah, most decide that they don't want to have to deal with y'all because it's going to be too much. It's pretty touch and go at one point where there's a gang who attempts to do a roadblock sort of thing, And Vulture, if you would kindly make me a driving test for this.
Mm-hmm. Just for the record, the truck is equipped with a combat plow, so if need be, I'll just go right through them.
Also, while he's rolling, I'd like to reallocate 2 of my solo combat awareness points to fumble recovery, and then keep 2 in perception.
All right.
So that's a 31.
Jesus Christ. So with a 31 on your driving test, yeah, at some point, these guys, like, drive a car out in front and attempt to, like, hold you up, but this is nothing new to Vulture, and you immediately see, like, oh, if I just ram through the car, like, at this point, like, it won't even scratch the paint on my car. Like, the plow will just completely push it out of the way. The center of gravity on that car is, like, way over here. And it'll easily pivot on its axis there. And yeah, it's a very short but tense ride to this location. Once you get to this general area where this address is, it's a little bit nicer. It's not nearly as dangerous because it's close to the university district. And as you like roll the windows down here, you can actually like smell the air of the sea breeze intermingle with the smell of the combat zone in general, which is usually like urban decay and decaying corpses.
Wait, table talk. The university district is in the combat zone?
It's just north of South Night City.
It's apparently like going to school in an armored fortress, which I'm about.
I need to donate more money to the alumni association then.
Do you get like alumni calls from them and you're like, listen, I'm a poor ass technician, I can't donate.
Of course I can't donate, I got a degree from you.
So yeah, this neighborhood is, while not nearly as dangerous, still covered in like bullet holes and gang graffiti. It just seems like they don't actively walk around here looking tough and swaggering about.
All right, do we like how are we following a tracker signal for this car, or are we just looking for coordinates?
We had a screenshot of a tracker signal from this location, so
Yep.
How does that work?
So I'll tell you how it works. You get to the area and you look at what the street looks like, and give me perception checks or investigation.
I've still got my perception, so and I've got 2 combat awareness points in it. So is that all right if I roll with that? I got a butt of 15.
That's an 18 for me.
Tracking would also work.
22 on my end.
Nice.
Is that a perception or a...
There's a perception.
I'm looking what my tracking. Oh, right, no, I don't have anything in that.
Well, if you've got conceal reveal object,
It's a natural 10.
it's going to be amazing at sleight of hand.
So that's a 26.
Yeah, so yeah, we're looking around and kind of the pinpoint like gets you to the general area. The screenshot kind of shows like the general layout of the neighborhood. It doesn't have addresses on it specifically, and so you're kind of just like, okay, that is this building, this is that building, and Perro and Vulture are looking at this and kind of comparing it. And Perro manages to narrow it down to a specific building. And that's when Vulture notices that at this address, there is a steel grating on the floor, like a steel door. And the road looks like it goes underneath the building there. And so this looks like a door to an underground garage of some kind.
Like, is anybody else super nervous about going underground in an enclosed space, even in an armored vehicle?
Well,
Definitely
we don't need to
nervous.
go there.
It's not ideal, but it is suspicious.
Yeah. Okay, like, so I know we had a traumatic experience with the grappling hook last time, but if I pop up on top of this building that we think might be a candidate and look for, like, say, a rooftop entry door, would we be all right with that?
No.
Yeah. Eddie, you're just gonna have to get over it. It was just like one time and you didn't even lose your whole arm, like at all. Like you're like leg healed just fine. It's fine. Anyone, do we think we want to like look inside this building? Maybe yes, maybe no?
It's not that. It's that if we go up, we're making a target of ourselves more than if we go down.
Well, you guys might, but this is my specialty.
Well, bully for you.
Well, I'll go up from the back. Like, why would you like grappling hook from the street, like from the front, like of the building, the facade? That's just ridiculous. What am I like 5? No. Okay. Do we want to try to get into this building?
Well, what does the building look like?
So this entire block is basically like each of the buildings is just a continuous. Blade Runner. Those buildings where they're like super tall, and it's basically like that kind of area.
This building is like huge. How many stories?
We're gonna go with 15. It's Night City's version of that.
That's 150 feet tall.
Yep.
That's pretty big.
I can get like halfway up.
With like your grappling gun, or
Like on the first run, I can get halfway up. Second run, I can get all the way up to the roof if I need to.
This presents a challenge that we did not consider beforehand, and that is this is a large area, or this building's really fucking big, and we're searching for essentially one person in a very large space. Like even if we narrowed it down to just this building, that doesn't make it like yes, it's smaller than the city, but still, it's a lot to search.
It's true, but like so like car is here, and like the way that this building is reinforced, especially the driveway that was going to dip under the building into the steel reinforced parking garage, I assume that is an interesting clue. I'm willing to bet that if we actually got in there, we were going to encounter a pretty robust security system that's probably going to go beyond our lock-picking analog abilities and somewhere into biometrics maybe. But do you guys want to investigate and see what the security protocols are, or do we want to do like a drive around and maybe like scout from the street?
hey, Jesse, is there like
Yes.
is there like an entrance to the building, like a door?
Yeah, there are front doors here.
Yeah.
With your perception, you're pretty sure that you see the door. You're pretty sure you can match the door on the street level that attaches to that underground garage.
All right. Vulture is going to walk to the door.
Wait, so Vulture, do you want backup from this level? Just in case something comes out of the building and like shocks you or something, or like there's like a gun turret?
Vulture just looks kind of confused. Like, do you think they can afford gun turrets?
You never know. That's why they're hidden.
Well, then I won't see them now, will I? And then he walks over.
Banshee is going to set up her sniper rifle from the car just in case something pops out.
I like Vulture. I'm going to miss his optimism and bravery.
Then set up, Eddie. Jesus.
So Vulture's going to go to the door. What does he see at the entrance?
Well, the door used to be like some kind of see-through plastic, but it is so covered in like gang graffiti at this point that it's impossible to see inside. There is also a window to the side that has like steel mesh over it, and then like some kind of paper covering over the window itself to prevent seeing inside.
Vulture is going to gently tug on the door to see if it opens.
It is locked.
Well, he's going to try pushing because maybe it's a push door.
It is still locked.
Well, that's kind of annoying. You said there was a mesh, like a window with mesh and paper, right?
Like, do you know that? Is it that glass that has the chicken wire inside of it?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's basic. It's kind of like that, except the chicken wire is on the outside of it.
Right. The paper, does it look like it's on the inside of the glass, or?
The paper is on the inside, yeah.
Okay,
Speaking as a teacher, that chicken wire glass would stop precisely nothing powerful enough like a bullet to get through. It would just makes us feel safer.
Yeah, I figured. Well, that doesn't mean that I can just casually cut it away and peek inside. I don't think that this is going to be the case, but I might as well ask. Is there a what you call it? Intercom for like the tenements of the building?
You know what? Sure.
Cool. Then I'm just going to make some assumptions here. That this intercom has some sort of a display and that you can maybe just look and see like names or something like that, to like, at least last names like Stevenson or whatever. It might help if you know what I'm trying to do. What I want to do, what Vulture wants to do, is to call one of these tenements and then, hey, I kind of lost my key and I need to get in, or something along those lines.
Or you're looking to hook up with you've got a date, you're supposed to pick somebody up, and they left out their number for their apartment.
I mean, I was thinking more along the lines of, hey, I have 2 doses of synth coke that I'm supposed to deliver.
Old key, the key is the oldest one in the book, but synth coke, people will open their door for drugs.
Hey man, I dropped my key and need to get back inside. But look, man, I give you 2 doses of synth coke, man. Just get me in, man.
Perfection.
So yeah, you there are no names on these. However, you can see it will say which ones are like occupied.
Cool. I'm going to take. I assume that there's a number for like the apartment number, and I'm going to take the lowest one because they are probably closest to the entrance.
All right. Yeah. Go. So you type in that number,
Mhm.
and it kind of like the line kind of like says connecting for a second, and then someone answers, "Who's this? What do you want?"
Hey man, I live one floor above you, man. I dropped my keys. I need to get in, man. I got 2 doses of synth coke that you can have. Look, man, I need to get in. All right, I need to meet my guy. Get some more stuff, man.
Make a persuasion roll.
Yay! What do I have in persuasion? I have.
You gotta
Okay.
be cool.
No, you're not. You're very not cool when you're in withdrawal.
Oh,
Like heroin, sure, but coke?
Holy shit, the rolly! What is this? I keep critting. I feel like I'm cheating. This is not okay.
The dice bot likes you today.
Don't
The
look a gift
GM
dice in the
energy.
mouth.
GM energy, I'm telling you, it takes your rolls there.
So yeah, you tell this guy the story, and he's whatever, just don't bug me again. And he like buzzes the door and it opens.
This fucking worked. I can't believe it. Well, Walter opens the door and then he stands there and he waves to the group like,
all right,
idiot.
I'm gonna bust out as quickly as I can. Close the door. Look both ways before crossing the street, and then cross the street.
And she does not look both ways before crossing the street. She just like slings the sacco back into her bag so the butt's sticking out and like beats it.
All right.
Yeah, that's all you need to do. Just some of that good old silver tongue and pretending to be
Hey.
a meth addict.
Hey, like a good old fashioned like door knock with like a little social engineering is a tried and true classic, and you pulled that off like a fucking champ.
What's a social engineering?
Don't worry about it. Old school terms.
All right, whatever.
So yeah, you walk into this what is a lobby area, and this is the kind of place that looks like it has not been cleaned in years. It smells of human waste and other worse things.
So like a truck.
Wait.
Yeah, detritus, litter, trash, just all kinds of stuff litters is all over the floor.
All right, I'm gonna put on my gas mask, which mostly just smells like rubber.
If someone had like, say, nasal filters, perhaps it might be a fresh lavender scent they're catching.
Yes, you do not. If you have nasal filters, then you do not smell the human waste and worse things.
It doesn't smell like a DC bus.
So yeah, the inside of this lobby is very dusty, very dirty. All the surfaces are covered in, at minimum, a very thick layer of dirt and dust, if not questionable sticky substances.
Are we looking at like hypos and shit on the floor?
Oh yes.
Okay, so we're in like a full-on trap house.
There was like the steel door that you mentioned. It indicated that the garage was like downstairs, maybe? Or
Yes.
well,
Hey guys,
let's
so
go
we're like,
find a staircase or something. Maybe.
so are we looking
elevator?
for a car? Or are we looking for the guy?
Well, let's start with the thing that we know might be here.
Yeah.
All right. So down into the garage. I'll swipe out my Sacco for the good old fashioned Uzi.
I'm gonna pick up a couple of the hypos on the ground.
Okay.
That is horrible.
You shouldn't leave these lying around.
If he's got an autoclave, they're reusable, right?
Yeah, but you don't want to put them in your pocket or anything where they might stab you, infecting you with God knows what.
I have a medical bag.
Do you have like an Altoids tin? Like that's
That
fine.
could have saved you from AIDS.
Well, I'm saying the medical bag has a disposable place for used hypos.
He has a sharp spin. It's not his first time.
Oh, you're going to dispose of them. I thought you were going to recycle them.
No. You have to get. I don't have, proper disinfecting materials in my place, but you shouldn't leave them lying around.
Didn't pick them up either. They're not going to stick through your shoes. They might stick through your skin while you're picking them up.
I have a metal arm.
At the end of all of this, we're giving you money to buy a mini autoclave. Like, that's totally unacceptable. You need one.
What's an autoclave?
Steam sterilization, like just in case.
Aren't those expensive?
No, it's like an instant pot. We'll like totally get you a little one. That way you can like sterilize your scalpel blades and stuff, right? Like, happy birthday.
I can look forward to that. Anyway, yeah, we go into the basement. Or we look for the basement.
Wait, you healed my leg without sterilizing your equipment?
I do sterilize my equipment. I just can't do deep sterilization on used hypos.
Alcohol
Fair
works
enough.
too. It's fine, Eddie. And you don't have an infection. We'd know by now. There's no red line on your leg. You're fine.
You're not dead, so you're probably fine.
So, out of all of the doors that we're seeing, which one are we feeling for a basement ingress?
Oh, well, it's pretty obvious. There is a door that is very clearly often used. It is probably the only spot in the entire lobby area that is not like covered in dust, which is the door handle to this door, which is clearly the stairwell. And the stairwell goes all the way up and all the way down.
Entry order and marching order for this stairwell, guys. Perro, you're in the middle, obviously. Vulture, how do you feel about taking? Do you want to take the 6 or do you want to take the 12?
Take the top.
Like, so you want to take point, and I'll take the rear.
Yep, sure.
Ed, Perro, you guys stay in the middle, okay? Because we kind of can't afford to have you shot.
That's fine. I got my bulletproof shield out.
Does everybody have their comm devices in their ears?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, we're ready to go. Let's do this.
Also, just for the sake of the record, Vulture has his shotgun with him.
Okay.
Actually, I
Because-
think Banshee's going to switch out for shotguns with slugs.
Because, combat zone, everybody has a shotgun. So let's go down there and see what's what.
And Banshee will wait for everyone to go through before she takes the 6 and tries to walk the stairs backwards to keep an eye out.
So yeah, you go downstairs into the parking garage. There are very few vehicles in here, or at least functioning vehicles. It looks like there are plenty of vehicles that no longer run and also have been scrapped for parts.
I was about to ask.
As you look around in this parking garage, you can like kind of check the location of this transponder screenshot to your location, and you're walking around and you eventually come to a line of what look like private garages within this garage with their own like doors to prevent people from, salvaging them.
Right.
And it is behind one of these doors that the coordinates for this vehicle is located.
I just assume that we can't see the vehicles.
You cannot. It is a steel door, roll-up door.
Is it locked or electronically sealed?
You look around for a lock, and it is indeed like electronically locked, like biometrically locked.
Okay, but like biometrics are great, but they kind of don't work when you like shoot the wires and fry everything. So like, should we do that?
Yeah, well, we can't just barge
That'd be a lot of
in.
noise. Sorry.
No, we can't. Seems like we can't just barge in and check the car out.
So is there any indication on the exterior of the like wall that we're looking at that would Like, there's not really like assigned parking lot spot numbers that would correspond with apartments or anything.
Not to apartments, no.
Okay. I mean, but they're numbered spots.
Yes, it looks like people pay for a specific car garage.
And the one that we're looking at, I mean, how many of these garages are closed?
All of them are closed.
Okay, so we really don't but the one that we've honed in on, we have found via coordinates, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So so what's the number associated with this particular location?
12.
So you guys, we know this is number 12. Do we think the landlord lives in the building? Or do we think that we might want to try to find a friendly and perhaps drug aficionado resident who might be willing to spill the beans on whether or not they know anyone in spot 12?
I will point out that, Ed Jones, do you have security tech?
Let me double check.
So you could attempt to bypass the biometric lock as well.
Let me go ahead and try that then. Got a 19?
Yeah, so you pop open this biometric lock and you kind of like connect some wires and touch a contact here into there, and you manage to get the lock to disengage.
There we go, everybody. We're in.
Magic, like every time. Crazy. All right, let's like hoist this door open, I guess.
So you hoist the door open. Where is everyone standing?
I imagine like Banshee's probably off to the side, like a little bit behind Ed, trying to keep Perro behind her and like not directly in front of the door while Ed's working.
I am behind Banshee with my shield, just having my shield up in no particular direction, just a little paranoid.
I think Vulture is like right next to the door almost.
Okay. So yeah, the door opens as you both lift it up. And sure enough, you hear a little click. And then there's a loud explosion as directional charges shoot out from the door.
I don't have enough time reflex-wise to like just kind of basically like fall back on Perro to like use my body as a shield.
Tell you what, make me... Because it sounds like Anton and it sounds like Vulture and Banshee are both the ones like closest to the side of the door. Both of you make me a reflex check.
Yes, straight up reflex.
You could also add your dodge. I think dodge would also be applicable in this situation.
Yeah, add dodge as well if you have that.
Evasion, right?
Yes, evasion. My bad. I always misname some of these skills.
Sorry,
That's
what
fine,
was
it's fine.
the skill name?
Evasion, under fighting skill. Well, fucking dice, but just loving me today.
18 with evasion. Evasion alone. I didn't add anything else.
Yep. So yeah, you both hear the click and you're like, I know what that means. And you manage to dive out of the way just in time before these blasts like pepper you with this whatever kind of shrapnel they're shooting out.
Ball bearings, maybe?
Similar to that, although these are more like makeshift claymores as opposed to proper ones. So it's more like he stuffed a bunch of nails or something in front of them.
Like, that's worse if you ask me.
Well,
like, you need
the ball bearings will bounce.
That's
True, but it's like, hey, here's a rusty nail. It's like, yep, that goes in there. Ugh.
So, well, hey, the important part is that we managed to avoid it, and we should probably check for traps if we're going to kind of continue to venture further inside, because we probably should have been looking for that. Ugh, my bad.
So, we're kind of on the clock. That probably was like sent to the owner, I guess.
That was also quite loud.
Yeah, your
that too.
ears are probably ringing if you don't have any kind of ear protection in.
Mop.
Nope. What were you saying?
Should we go inside?
I think we need to check the truck.
Are my ears bleeding?
And so inside there is a white 2-door coupe. It looks like it's been sitting there for a few days at least. But in addition to the vehicle, there is also a workbench in the corner.
Ooh, goody
That's
goody.
unusual.
This is like a gold mine. Should we close the door really fast, guys?
I think it's too late for that.
It
Well,
would
no,
slow
like-
anyone down just a little bit.
Yeah, like just in case, like an extra layer of steel.
Into the garage, or
Yeah, it's like let's like just hop in here with the car and see if somebody maybe like left their badge or a business card or something sitting.
let's take one step at a time. And Vulture is going to check for security systems on the vehicle.
All right, make me a. You know what? We'll call this a conceal reveal item.
Okay, there we go. Finally.
With a 1.
Yeah, that's a strong 5.
Yeah, no, the vehicle looks pretty stripped down for the most part.
Yeah.
Can you like
Good.
jimmy it so we can like look in the like glove compartment because everyone forgets something in the center console and the glove compartment always.
I was thinking maybe we drive it, see if we can drive it out and hook it up to the truck.
Let me see if I can I unlock the door?
Yeah, you try the door and it is unlocked.
Oh.
Can I go take?
Hold up. Before anyone like, listen, like that was a booby trap door. Do you think this car might not explode if we try to move it or like put something in the ignition?
That seems a little overkill. Vulture says as he opens the driver door.
Banshee just like on the other side of the garage.
So who's opening the door?
Well, technically, Perro was the first one that opened the door. I opened the passenger side door.
And then is Vulture opening the driver's side door?
Yep.
Okay. Hey, Perro, what's your luck? I know what Vulture's is.
My luck is 2.
Hell yeah.
Let me make some rolls real quick.
I was born poor. Can't be lucky.
High five, Perro.
Unlucky.
Too
The
luck.
unluck gang.
Yes.
But I'm gonna do a little dance if I was right.
Bury me with the truck.
Curious question. Do either Perro or Vulture wear gloves?
Let me see what
My right arm or my right hand, which I would have used to open up the door, is metal because I do have a cyber arm.
I don't. No, I don't think Vulture is wearing any gloves.
Okay. So, Perro, you open the passenger side door, and you feel what seems like a weird bit of like. You basically can tell that like your finger is pressed on some kind of needle. Vulture, you feel the needle prick your finger as you open this door.
Ah, fuck.
Well, who's paranoid now?
I'm a little concerned at the feeling. Can I pull out whatever it was that I touched?
Yeah, so you kind of pull out this little sack of it's like a little needle that has a small reservoir of some kind of substance.
It's an air hypo.
Not necessarily an air hypo. It is like a legitimate needle.
I have a question.
I maybe have an answer.
So if I have a biomonitor installed and I also have a toxin binder installed, could those two combine to tell me what I ingested?
What, you ingested or what
Yeah.
just pricked?
No, like if I were to go ahead and take a little taste of what was on the needle, would I be able to determine what just went into someone's system on my biomonitor?
Sure.
All right. Well, I mean, I would say that Banshee is probably familiar with this trick, having set it up a couple times.
Before she tastes it, can I tell based off of my medical knowledge what it is by looking at it?
Make me a. There's just a straight medicine check, isn't there?
There's paramedic. There's I could probably make you can make an argument that I could use my medicine roll, which is the skill specific to medtechs.
Yeah, do whichever one of those is better for you, and tell me which one you pick.
I'm gonna make a medicine roll, since this just seems like a general knowledge of medicine. Yeah, just hold it up to the light, check its color and the viscosity of the liquid, and see what is this.
All right, so Perro with his 21 examines the vial and is fairly certain that this is a combination of arsenic and some other kind of designer drug.
I'll say, all right, so if you got any of this shit in your system, you are most likely very poisoned.
Okay. I've administered antitoxin and charcoal binder before. Do you have anything in your bag that I can give you? And Vulture, presumably?
Well, so first off, Vulture, make me a resist torture drugs test.
I rolled a 2. I already rolled that, and I got a 1, and then I rolled a lot bad, so 2.
Oof. You feel this prick on your finger, and you're like, huh, that's not supposed to happen. And then a bunch of like, hey, Shona, what is the effect of arsenic? Does it pain?
So if we're doing arsenic by itself in a high dose immediately, we're looking at vomiting, abdominal pain, encephalopathy, which was probably not going to set in, and eventually diarrhea. So, but right now it's probably an intense headache and vomiting.
Okay, so yeah, you feel extremely nauseous, and also you feel very faint. Actually, make me 2 tests. Make me another test. One was for the toxin, and one was for the designer drug.
Okay. Not great. 12. That's not great.
Yeah. So, in addition to the vomiting, you also feel extremely lightheaded, and like your vision starts to like tunnel, and you realize that like you're losing consciousness.
Vulture is going to probably not walk back, but he's going to start tipping backwards and just hit the wall behind him at some point and just slide down and then keel over on his side and just throw up. All those eggs, those real eggs.
So the door is down, correct? We pulled the door down?
Yes.
Okay. Would I be able to call upon my knowledge as a entirely too young poison aficionado to know that I could give him charcoal?
Sure. Give me a test that you think sounds appropriate. Along with Perro, you can give me a test that sounds appropriate, and we will see what those results are together and describe that appropriately.
Could I do resist torture drugs, or are we looking for something else?
Also, will charcoal work in the situation? He didn't ingest any poison. It's in his blood.
So yeah, you're right. We're looking at we're not looking at an ingestion. We're looking for something that's going to be able to bind it in blood. So we might have to have a techno-futuristic. Because I mean we're flying fast and loose, so we're not going to get science hard on this. But we might need an antitoxin or a blocker, like just a general channel blocker.
Well, fortunately,
technically mine is a 17. I forgot to add I do have a med scan, which does help with checks like these. So that's a 17, not a 15.
All right. And Banshee, do you have anything that you
I have
want?
torture drugs.
That's more like your own intestinal fortitude. Do you have any kind of like knowledge?
I mean, let's see here. Tactics?
Because
there ain't much on here about science.
They're under technique skills, which is where you get your first aid and your
wilderness survival, personal grooming, streetwise trading.
There is a straight up science skill that is intelligence
Yeah, I've
based.
seen the science there, so I can just try that with my aunt.
If you want, I will give you a +2 on that, since you said that you, as a character, specifically focus on like toxin and poison based assassinations.
She's a fan. That gives me a 13 total.
Okay. So y'all are unable to prevent Vulture from taking the damage from the arsenic, but you are able to keep him from passing out. And you are also able to keep the arsenic from further causing any harm.
I give him a little bit of a, what is it, like an adrenaline booster, just to keep his eyes away.
He needs potassium. If you have potassium, he needs potassissium.
Yeah, I think I got a little bit. I don't have raw bananas for you, as no one does, but I do have a couple pills.
I'll take it.
There you go.
Also, then you jam that fucking adrenaline syringe in me, and Vulture just goes.
Yeah, your heart rate is going. Your heart's probably in a like kind of a bad place because it's fighting with adrenaline plus some sort of really powerful sedative.
Like the arsenic poisoning is going to give hypertension. So if you're going to go ahead and you're going to add adrenaline to that, you're going to have a bad time.
I think Vulture's having a bad time no matter what. Oh,
Heart to explode too.
Don't worry, this shouldn't cause that much heart damage.
You're gonna need
Oh,
collation after this. It's gonna be very uncomfortable, but like it's gonna be fine.
not helping. That is, that's not great. I don't like this at all. Can we
Listen,
please?
Like I once I got arsenic poisoned on my 15th birthday because my grandma, like Ein, did not want me to like get
Vulture just holds up a hand and like stop talking.
Well,
No, but like I survived. You're gonna get collation and you're gonna be just fine.
panicking isn't going to help you, Vulture. So just try and relax. Take deep breaths. Find a happy place.
All right, I'm gonna check the other doors at this point just to make sure there aren't more of these hypos using my cyber arm.
Well, it's a two-seater.
All right. Ah, fuck. Man, this is kind of a bad situation because I don't know if Vulture should be driving right now.
Definitely not. And can any of the rest of us?
Absolutely, I'm going to be driving right now.
I
Between
can drive.
between both of your actions, we'll basically call that like the equivalent of a quick fix, and he is fine for the rest. He is going to be okay for the rest of the day, though he will probably want to get some medical help afterwards.
Specifically, heavy metal collation.
I don't like heavy metal. And then he steps into the car. He's going to just check around.
Okay, I'm just gonna point out that you guys didn't listen to me about the like candles possibly being booby trapped. So let's maybe not turn the key until we check for like a bomb or another hypo. Like, just putting it out there. You know, not to say like I was right, but
Luckily, I doubt the keys are in the ignition.
I would be surprised if when you pull down the sun, what is it called, the sun blocker thing,
a little
The sun
sun
visor.
the sun visor, if the keys aren't in there.
You would be surprised if they aren't.
If they aren't, yes, I'm like he would put them there.
Also, like everyone maybe like put on gloves.
I am wearing gloves, but not the useful kind.
Oh.
Well, they're fingerless.
Vulture console, glove box, in a bit of a hurry because his heart is doing like 180 BPM right now and he's not happy about it.
All right. So as you check the center console and the glove box, luckily no more booby traps. You do find what seems like in the center console you find some kind of surveillance electronics, and in the glove box you find several like physical notebooks.
Goody, goody. That's a gold mine.
Vulture is going to take all of those, obviously.
Can I go check? Oh, sorry, go on.
Then he's going to try, because hey, he's a nomad. He's going to see if he can hotwire the car with land vehicle tech.
Like it's super cute, even though it's white, which is like the tackiest car color.
See, it's okay.
Wait, wasn't it white?
Yes,
I think so.
it is a white coupe.
I take it is just a normal car, stat-wise.
Yes.
Cute.
Hey,
Can I go check out the workbench?
Yeah, go check out the workbench.
If it's all right, I will take up a post at the rear of the car and keep my gun aimed at the ingress point to this location.
So Vulture, as you attempt to hotwire this car and you're trying to like get it to start, you are having trouble, and so you kind of investigate a little further, and you see that there has been a modification made so that in addition to requiring a key, it also requires some kind of proximity sensor to the actual, like, to some kind of device. Basically, like an RFID.
Yeah. Well, car's fucked. Okay, can we should probably get going.
Yeah, you did. Vulture definitely needs some time to recover from this. He's not in great shape.
But like Vulture, like sit still right there, like head, like so put your like feet on the floor, like head between your knees, and like take deep breaths, because like Eddie's got to look at the bench over there, and then we're gonna get you back to your car, okay?
Vulture is hyperventilating still.
No, okay, like so here's what you're gonna do. Deep breath in through your nose, fill the bottom of your lungs up all the way to the top, then release through your mouth, emptying from the bottom to the top, okay? If you do that, it's a lot harder for it to move through your system, all right? That is not the breathing pattern. Breathe me.
All right, what's in the workbench?
So in the workbench you find various pieces of electronic equipment, as well as data pads that seem to have like various encrypted documents on them.
I am just going to carefully shove everything into my tech bag for examination later and go back to the car.
So, like, are those bugged or tracked maybe? Like in like an iPad with a chip in it or some shit?
I have nothing that would tell me that.
Okay, so like, should we be taking the physical devices or should we be trying to extract something from them to plug into something else?
Take everything and get going.
Anything we plug in, they could put a tracking program on there anyway. So I don't think it would do us much good one way or the other.
We just got to make sure to be know where we're going with these. So yes, we need to get in and get out.
All right, so we
now.
need to move, and Vulture can't take point anymore. So Eddie, Perro, can you like sidearm on either side of him, and like we're gonna frog march him out of here, and we're just gonna pass this off as a bad reaction to street drugs. Okay.
All right.
So any way we can knock him out, that might stop him from hyperventilating, and
he should not go to sleep right now.
No, and he needs to keep breathing slowly. So you're gonna coach him.
Also, I'm driving.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
I will drive when we get there. You are going to the back.
I will kill you if they touch the car.
I will kill you first.
If the poison gets me.
All of you need to calm your testosterone and get your shit together. Get your estrogen out and fucking calm the fuck down. Start breathing correctly and follow me. We're getting out of here. And if anyone asks questions, he had a bad synth coke and we have to take him to a hospital. Okay?
GM note, he can probably drive.
Okay. We will escort him to his truck.
Formation.
Yeah.
Is there anybody accosting the truck or accosting us on the way out?
Not yet. Not that you've seen.
Okay. I was worried that somebody might be accosting the truck. I don't want that.
We're all agreed on using Vulture as the human shield if someone comes down?
Wait, did his breathing pattern go back to normal when he saw his truck being all fine?
Really?
He stopped hyperventilating when he noticed his truck was not molested.
I mean, maybe?
Oh my god, I love it.
Reminds me very much of another character I played. As y'all are getting out towards the truck, Better will get a call from DeLuise.
I will answer. It's like, yeah?
Hey, just finished dealing with my stuff. Have y'all checked out that location yet?
Yeah, we did. We found no sign of the mark, but found a lot of personal effects that we're going to have to dig through.
Wait, he left items there?
Yes, some books and some data pads.
Would it be possible for someone to stake the location out? Maybe he'll come back.
I look around. Is there any place to stake out from here?
Listen, if you've got a grappling hook, any place is a place to stake out. And I've got my kit with me in my bag.
Yeah, you can probably either stay up on a building. You could probably break into an like I told Vulture when he was doing the phone or the apartment call thing earlier. It says which rooms are occupied, so you could theoretically break into an unoccupied room across the street as well.
I'm like, okay.
Perro, we probably need you to take care of Vulture. Do you guys want me to do this stakeout?
I think that you and Ed should stake out. How far away is our location from the Savoya, where I live? Just keep in mind, I live in the poor part of Haywood.
Okay, pretty decent distance.
What's that? What would you say? Put that that distance or the time to drive.
Pedal to the metal, not too long.
If we want, you and Kino or you and Ed could stake out the place while me and Vulture went back to my shop, and while I clean his blood of the poison.
Please not talk about my blood like that.
Here's my concern. Eddie Bear is loaded down with a bunch of info. Although, if you want to stay, I definitely would not mind having dual persons. But if you would like to go somewhere safe to potentially remove any trackers from these devices, that would probably be best. I've been doing solo stakeout since I was 9. This is no big deal.
Ed, how do you feel? Would you rather stay with Banshee or go somewhere else to try and examine the sensitive information?
Well, if we examine it here while we're staking it out, there's always the risk of there being some sort of tracking device that gets uploaded into our systems. But if there isn't, it means we don't have them tracking us to another location, because they'll just be tracking us to where they know the data pads already are.
But take the data pad somewhere different and disassemble there, right?
Yeah, that's probably the best bet. I'll go with you for now, and then we'll take them someplace safe to...
Well, I have to stay here on point and watch the building for anything.
That's what I'm talking about. I'll go with them.
All
So
right.
you're going with them. Okay, cool. So I'm going to stake out here. I've got my bag. That means I've got to go step to that building and find an empty unit and set up my gear and my observation shit. So you all know how to reach me. If anything gets weird, Vulture, remember that thing I told you about breathing? It's going to help it spread slower. You've got this. You're amazing. And give him sugar, because that will help with the arsenic.
The sugar won't be necessary after we clean his blood.
Well, yeah, but like on the drive, just to make him comfortable.
All right, I don't have that. That's the only reason I'm bringing it up.
Hold on, I've got I've got candy in here somewhere. Hold on. And like I'm gonna like paw individually wrapped like little star-shaped Japanese candies into Perro's hand.
All right, I nod and say, "All right, let's." I wave. We need to leave.
Also, just for the record, Vulture did take all the shit that he found inside the car.
If you look in the written journals, if anyone bothers to, they are also encrypted.
Can I use my deduction? Oh no, would this be cryptography or deduction?
Cryptography would be best. Deduction might give you a general idea of what it might talk about, but cryptography will be what you need to get exact.
All right, I will, as we are driving there, because I did not fight with Vulture anymore on it. I'm letting him drive his truck if he really feels that strong about driving his truck.
Vulture is driving his truck.
But I will, while we are doing that, I'm looking over the things and trying to decipher what the meaning of it is.
Can somebody roll composition to see the prose of the encrypted message?
So yeah, you look, and you're pretty sure that this is some kind of daily observational log.
Anything specifics that would point me to who they were or who or what they were observing?
You're not able to tell specifically like what it says. You're just able to kind of like look as like, okay, this is probably a time. This is probably a time. This is probably an address.
I know this is borderline / almost definitely metagaming, but I mean, is there any way to determine like with a like symbol or whatever recurrence and frequency that like this might be written in a certain type of code?
That would be a cryptography check.
That's what I just did.
Oh, did you do cryptography or did you do deduction?
I did cryptography.
Oh, you did cryptography. Okay.
My deduction's much higher, but this is because I actually am trained in deduction. My cryptography is only an 8, but if this had been a deduction, it would have been a 23.
Holy shit. Okay. You're able to decipher some parts of it. This definitely seems like the parts that you are able to decrypt are the notes of like what he's observed, and it's a lot of like name, talked about this, and then like his own notes on the side of like how that information could possibly be used. So like for example, there is one that says, we'll go ahead and do one that you're familiar with, because one that sticks out to you is the Mantis Gardens.
So this was the first garden that we were sent in response to, the one that was initially hit by those gangers that we killed.
Correct.
Shit.
And so you're looking at it, and there is a note in there about someone talking of like patrol times for the guards and when they switch, and he obviously has a note on the side of go in at this time. There's a note about like how the center stairwell is the one that goes all the way up to the top and bottom, and that's where any person should go. And the part that is encrypted still, like that you're not able to decrypt, is basically the part where he's written down like I'll say that you're able to tell that this is basically where he's written down what his techniques were used to gather this information. and like locations of where he was set up possibly, or specific tech that he used, or specific like insiders. So like more sensitive material, more sensitive information, because it would point more to what exactly like how he's been doing and gathering information.
Just player to GM, would there be any point for collaboration for like brute force attempting to crack this code? Like frequency analysis or something like that, with like, in conjunction with whatever cryptography roles we could, to try to see like, is this a Visionaire cipher? Is this a Caesar cipher? Or something like that.
I would imagine that in the future, ciphers are a lot more complex. You could. I would say that you could. However, what might be a more useful avenue of approach for this, for like both decrypting the rest of these notebooks as well as the data pads. Someone here knows somebody who specifically has made a lot of contacts with people who broker information.
Yeah. That would be DeLuise, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. They would probably be interested in seeing this kind of stuff, especially considering it directly pertains to them.
Would Perro
think
tell Banshee, who's the only one who's not in the car, that this book contains information about the Mantis Garden?
Well, I wouldn't call you about that, but when we get back, I would probably bring it up.
A burner phone?
Yeah, but it's just because the information isn't pertinent to what we're doing right now. Because it's not going to help you stake out, and it's not going to help us depoison Vulture. It's not us like, oh no, we need to know this immediately.
Yeah, if you want to shoot me that info later, like...
Yeah, absolutely. But
yeah, that would be great, because that's hanky as hell.
All right, so do we get to where we're going?
Yeah.
And Banshee's going to, for surveillance purposes, set up in the building across the street in the first empty area she can find with a good vantage point view, and go ahead and like pile shit up against the door, do the standard fortification, and then wait it out.
Thank you for listening to the Red Knights podcast actual play. This season we're playing Cyberpunk Red from our Talsorian games. Our theme music is by Ivy Faye. You can find links to her other work in the description below.